Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Toby.
You're muted. Okay. And all unmute ourselves. Um, yeah. Good morning, Abigail. The video is on for the first time. Wow. Yeah. So, off now. Oh, should we on our video? I don't know if that would drag the attention, but it's fine. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight into this the purpose for this call. I mean, knowledge sharing. So I'd like to start off with sharing my screen. So I'm sure we must have seen the write up or the presentation that I shared on the group. So so the idea is that I mean we can share knowledge. Since we have been talking about performance testing, I decided to take that up as something that we can share. So I'll just go through the slides, then we can make our comments and additions to this session. Do you mind if I record it? Or there's no need.
I've started recording it already.
Oh, okay, so welcome everyone to today's knowledge team knowledge sharing session for the quality assurance team Providence Bank. Um, I'm glad that we're able to have this because this is going to go a long way to help us to skill up and learn. So it's not going to be just me, one person. Everyone is going to learn as well, including myself. So today I want to quickly take us on performance testing with JMeter. So my name is Gode Paul. All right. So the outline for today's quick knowledge sharing session, as displayed. So I'm not going to bother so much on the slides because I mean I believe that we have been able to go through it maybe before now. So basically, performance testing is a non-functional testing technique that is designed to analyze and evaluate how a system behaves under a particular workload in terms of performance and stability. As we know, you can either be doing a functional testing or a non-functional testing. So one of the non-functional testing that we have added is performance test or performance. So others include in usability and so on. So like I said, the most times when a software and application under test is developed, there's need for us to check how it's going to behave when there is a certain load placed on it. So this is how we guarantee the software's sustainable stability. So there are a couple of tools that is used for this performance testing. The most common of them all, which is JMeter, and it's common because it is open source and it's free. Then we have others like BlazeMeter, Load Ninja, Load Runner. Load Runner is also a very powerful tool. Uh, I've used. Let me say, I know people who use Load Runner. So yeah, I can say I use it kind of. So sorry, is there any
Yes,
comment?
this load runner, is that the full name of the tool? Is it Selenium load runner or is just load runner as a standalone? Am I
Yeah.
audible?
So
Yes.
Load Runner is in that's the name Load Runner. It's owned by Micro Focus. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
yeah the
Oh, okay. Micro focus. Okay.
yeah,
The
which is currently open
ALM
text
guys.
ALM guys. Yes, yeah, they're they don't have load runner.
Okay, please go ahead. Sorry,
So
I might be asking
no, it's
questions so
fine.
that
I
not.
appreciate that. Uh,
Is that okay, Abigail? Abigail does not seem fine by
we
the
can
No, it's
all
way
fine. It's
be
fine.
we can be
the
unmuted.
oh, okay.
This is supposed to be an interactive session.
I don't know the reason why I am muted is so that we can hear you clearly because of noise from the
Oh,
background.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So
That's great. All right. So those are the tools for performance testing out there. So in case you want to try out, but the go-to tool is JMeter, which is what we're going to be using for this short knowledge sharing session. So there are so many types of performance testing. You have the load testing, stress testing, spike, endurance, scalability, volume testing, capacity, system level, performance, coding, profiling, component testing. So that's a lot. But for the purpose of this knowledge sharing session, we'll just focus on four of the main types of performance testing. So, so we'll focus on the main four main performance types of performance testing. One of them is load testing. So as the name implies, this is a testing of how the system behaves, when um, under expected user load. For instance, now, if there's let's say, for instance, that's what's it called, Abigail, the application you worked on for new hires. Let's say that is meant to take up to 1,000 users, concurrent users on the application. That's the load for that application. So if you want to test, if you want to perform a load test, then you have to simulate virtual users, so the 10, that 1,000 concurrent users, and see how the system will behave. If the system is expected to take 1,000 users that at a time. So if it takes it, then you can say that that load test passed. But if it's not able to take those number of users concurrently, then you say that the load test failed. Then we can now start investigating about the cause of the failures. So that is basically what load testing is about. They will now have stress testing. So this is the testing when you have to test the system by increasing the load beyond its expected, peak to identify its breakpoints. So still on the same example, if that's a new hire application, since it's supposed to take 1,000 users, then you might want to find out what will happen if more than 1,000 users hit the application concurrently. So with the system, will it like shut down or something, or will it something? Will I want to find out what the breakpoint is? So that's the stress test. So when you exceed the expected peak by increasing the load, then it's said to be performing a stress test. Then you also have endurance test, testing the system over a long period to check for issues like memory leakage and degradation. As the name implies, endurance. So let's say 1,000 user, the application is supposed to take 1,000 user. Yes, but what happens if those 1,000 users remain on the application for a longer period? Would there be a case of a memory leak? Will there be a case where some data will be lost, or some things will not be, some packets will not, or something like that will not be delivered, or response will not be gotten after a long period of time? So that's the endurance testing. Then lastly, we have the spike testing. So this involves testing the system's ability to handle sudden and extreme increase in load. So sometimes you can have a surge, you can have um, high traffic hitting your application at a certain period. For instance, payday. Most times in payday, we experience users inability of users to access the application or to use the application. That shows a spike in the usage. So if there was a proper spike testing done on an application, we'll be able to know how to handle cases like that, so that we don't have a downtime, so reduce downtime on the application. So that's basically very essential. We noticed that during that COVID-19 period, a lot of applications were failing. Most likely, they never conducted things like spike testing. A lot of people were hitting their applications from different angles. So that's just a brief introduction of performance testing. So I'd like to quickly delve into the tool that we'll be using today for performance testing, which is JMeter. So like I said, JMeter is an open source performance testing tool and is developed by Apache and is used to test the performance of a web application and other services. So it's true that most people use JMeter for web application, but I've come to discover that people use JMeter for so many other things. Even database, FTP, different other services, which is very, very interesting. So that
Sorry,
means the
sorry,
longer,
Godi. Sorry to
yeah,
interject. Sorry. What's FTP?
yeah, FTP file transfer protocol. That's for file transfer. So these are things that are up for testing, like the performance. Are you saying
Uh,
something, Abigail?
yeah, system is lagging.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I have a question. For this JMeter performance test, especially for performance testing, some people will say it's not for all applications. So, what's that take? Is it that for all application, whether in-house internal application or external applications, um, we can always conduct a performance testing?
I don't think there's any limit to performance testing as long as you if it's something that is very important to you. And for instance, now customer facing applications where you cannot afford to have failures due to the increase in usage. When the as long as the organization scale up, they will be accommodating more users, and there's need for performance testing. So there's no, well, I would say most customer facing applications should do performance testing on there. But if it's internal, well, we don't also want our internal applications to fail when we have all the users. For instance, now, if not that, I mean, things like which application do we use internally that's mostly, well, Provi and all that. I don't
Post
know.
process maker,
Uh,
whatever.
yeah, you might not have so many people, but you might never, you know, imagine you can't imagine how many people can be on this platform. So just like as you do information security, BAPT, it's like a routine stuff. But I'm not going to say that we must do performance testing for everything. So it's now up to management, or I don't know, or how do I put it? To decide where we should, if there's need for us to, you know, run a performance. I think Kenny, you mentioned something about a particular application that there was a request for performance testing to be done on it. So we can always do. You know why you cannot randomly do performance testings? Because what you are doing is you are simulating virtual users, and then it's not so advisable to do performance testing on a live environment because you are simulating virtual users. So that means that application might crash on in the process. So it's not advisable to do this on a live environment. I don't know if this answers your question, Abigail.
Yes, it does.
Huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you have something to say.
No, I'm saying yes. But
So you want to
like you
add
said,
something?
both in-house and external, in and out, external, internal and external applications to
Okay.
an extent or to a large extent should be performance testing should be
Yeah.
conducted as well.
Yeah. All right. So
Because
let
we
me just
had
move on. Eh?
because we had similar, okay, where I was coming from, we had similar challenges. I thought because it was an internal application, they thought there was no point. They never knew that probably later on they didn't envisage what they saw. So after like a year or so, they start having spike in the application. And
Okay.
at the end of the day, once there are so many users, you just see the application misbehaving. So they now notice it was the
Yeah.
stress on it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a good one there. So well, so it's good that we are paying attention to this now. So at least if we get to a point where we need to now be doing this on a regular, then we know how to handle that. So that's a very nice one there. Thank you so much for that. So
Yeah.
let me move on.
Okay,
Okay.
so I just wanted to say something based on Abigail's question. Apologies, guys. I was a bit distracted. I sorry about that. Sincere apologies, team.
So
So okay, so from what Abigail asked, I'm just going to read a line from the training that I've been having recently on ISTQB. So on why is Abigail
go
laughing?
ahead.
So
It's a
on
knowledge sharing
yeah
session.
on so
Yeah.
so the decision to go for so test is non-exhaustive. So that means every kind of test can apply to every application. Every kind of test can apply. It depends on the direction you choose to go. So I'm just trying to say that the decision to do performance test for an application is during test planning. And there's a statement that says that, it consists of defining the test objective and then selecting an approach that best achieve the objective. So during test planning, based on that kind of application, you determine if performance testing is necessary or not. So it's a decision on the QA team, not, yeah. So I just thought I should chip that in, guys.
So what that means, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means we should pay attention to during test planning to know what is needed or what we should do or what will be appropriate. So I mean that's well understood. Um, okay, so let's just delve into the interesting part, which is using the JMeter tool for performance testing. So that's why um so the first steps is usually to install the tool. So I mean this is like one of the most easiest application you can install, except that unlike the regular one, you have to download the file. um it's usually a binary file. What will I call it? So just go to Apache JMeter website and download JMeter. So but JMeter is powered by Java. So that means that if you don't have Java installed, you might not be able to use JMeter. So part of the installation step is to ensure that Java is installed. And what will mean is the Java development kit. So you want to verify that. If you want to verify if Java is installed, you can check that from your command line. So we know what command line is, right? CMD. You can check that from your
Yes,
command line.
what's the command?
So yeah, Java version, the hyphen version.
Type here in V now, or
So if you
version
want
of
to,
full. Okay.
yeah, Java version hyphen. That way you can tell if your application has. Does yours show? So you see the Java version,
Unrecognized.
What's that?
Java.
could not create a Java virtual machine.
Okay. Now, if you are seeing that error, it's one of two things. It's either you don't have Java, or your Java has not been added to the environment variables. So I don't know. I'm hearing myself. Okay.
It's because I'm not.
Okay. Okay. Java is not recognized. So it's either your and I most of our system has Java, right? Because I believe our core banking application runs with Java. So the case here now is that we uh, don't have your what's it called? You have not added Java to your environment variables, which is what we're going to do now with the help of Rita. Sorry, can you help us? Let's try and see if we can add. Let's try and see if we can add. So first and foremost, we need to locate where your Java is. How do I do that? Let me just open. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can locate your Java. I think there's a shortcut to look for the paths of. Yes, please. We need your help with your admin credentials. That login access or something. I want to install something. We want to add Java to. So I'll call you. Just a minute. Uh, no. Yeah. Okay.
So no here.
Okay, I think we can do this later. Yeah. Java part. The Java part.
Is this the command I'm supposed to make? Java.
No. No, what we did now was to check if Java is installed. So for what I see, yes, Java is installed, but the system cannot find it.
Okay.
And that's because it has not been added to the environment variables.
Okay.
So, but before we can add to environment variable, we should at least know where it is on the system. So most times, okay. So, but let me see if I can quickly show where my own is located. So my own is usually located is at if you go to systems, you'll find Java in your program files. This is Java. This is JDK. So this is what you have to add to this bin part is all you have to add to environment variables. Okay. So once it's added, then but it seems like you will be able to still use Java. We can still proceed with this. We can still use JMeter because Java is installed. It's not that it's not installed. It's just that the system does not know. But JMeter knows that Java is installed. So we can still proceed with this. So I'm just going to go to where I installed my JMeter. I think this session is taking too long, right? But let me see if I can do this quickly. So when I downloaded my Java, my JMeter, JMeter is this is where my JMeter is located. So if I want to launch JMeter, I have to go to the bin part and then I look for the batch, the Windows batch file, JMeter batch, Windows batch file. This one. Um, hmm? Are you saying something?
Not really. Not really. I was talking to myself. I thought it would be nice if we can actually do this performing testing on our own. So for every application that you're testing that you feel like, okay, performance testing should be conducted, then you can as well go ahead and do that without the help of any other person.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the essence of this session. So help us to do it when obviously we need to do a performance testing. So Abigail, maybe we might start with your application. That new employee, new hire. Do you think is something that you want to perform performance testing on?
Okay, that employees have data because that actually have and so many.
Okay. Okay. So let's use that for the purpose of this. Yes. The URL. Okay. Okay. So this is the JMeter environment. It has a lot in it, but I mean, I'll just touch a few things. So usually it starts with the test plan. So if you right click on test plan, you see that there are a few things that you can do. You can add threads. Okay, let me just go back to the presentation so that I can identify some of those things that you find on the environment. Okay, so this is basically what we're going to do today. We'll try to create a simple test plan. Then we'll add thread groups. So thread groups are basically how you specify the number of users and then the time, number of virtual users, the time you want them to hit the server, and then the iterations or the loop. No. So we're going to simulate something like this. So then we'll also add a simple HTTP sampler. You know, when you see HTTP, you already know that you are trying to hit a web server or a website. So a sampler in JMeter is basically how you send requests and get a response. So there are many samplers. This is just HTTP. We have JDBC sampler. We have FTP sampler. So it specifies the kind of request that you are sending, and then the response you get. Then we also have listeners. So it's with these listeners that JMeter uses to configure what the results, or what will be monitored or displayed by the test. So it's more or less like things like reports. No. So we're going to see all these things. Then we have the assertions. The assertion is used to set a condition for verifying when the response matches with the expected response or whatever. So that's it. So let me just move straight to. I don't like doing too much of talking. I want to get things done. Okay, so like I said, in test plan, we can add things like thread groups, configure elements, listeners, timers, preprocessor, postprocessor, assertions, and so on. We even have this interesting one that I started using recently, non-test elements. I love that function there. So, but let's add a thread group. Let's add a thread group. So the way I like to see thread group is like this scenario that you are trying to, or how do I put it? No. Anyways, okay, Abigail, I'm just going to call this new employee or something. I don't know. Just trying to make it relatable so I don't look so abstract or straight shortly. New employee. Are you new employee, new hire?
You can say new stuff. You can say new stuff.
New staff. New staff. Okay. So trying to check what happens when we have let's say 100 users hitting, let's make it 1,000, hitting the application in 10 seconds. Sorry?
Okay, 10 seconds. So I said on that thread, they said 5 seconds.
Sorry, me, I don't understand grammar. What's wrong, Pop?
Huh?
What's
Okay,
wrong,
yeah.
Pop?
Ramp up time is the duration in which this request is made. So the duration in which these users accesses the application. That means that in 10 seconds, we are going to be hitting the application with 10 users, with 100 users, I mean, in
So that
10
means
seconds.
okay. So
So, yeah,
so does that mean that that means the response is part of the ramp up time now? Request and response. The 10 seconds is the time that the users, for example, they are trying to log in. Oh, okay, it's not logging now. It's just to
no,
access
it's
the
just
URL.
accessing the application.
Okay.
We are not specific to anything yet, just the application.
Okay.
We
Okay.
can
So it's
specify.
still a request and response now because you sent a request to
Yeah.
www now to access that particular
Yes.
URL,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then the
Yes.
client
Yes.
side have given you a response from the server side.
Exactly. Okay. So and then this loop count, in case you want them to do it multiple times, you can specify it. But in this case, we're just doing this once. Okay. So you can don't forget to save so that you don't have issues of not finding what you did. Let me just save that. So that's Abigail. It's like you're saying something, but we can't hear.
No, where did you save it again?
So
Where? Oh, okay. Once you save, it will go to that your JMeter folder, most likely in the bin. Do you want to take your mic closer to your mouth or
Okay,
something?
sorry, I thought I was speaking to. So I said, where did you click? Where did you click?
To save.
Yes, okay, after the
Yeah,
scissors. Okay, okay. Thank you.
I got the I
yeah,
please this the same user on each iteration.
yes.
Can you explain that?
Where is that? The same. Okay,
Is
same
is
user.
checked by default. Yeah.
Okay, by default. Yes. So there are cases where you want to, for instance, now you can. It's just virtual users we're creating. So and then users are usually identified by their IP. So what you want to use the same user
On
hitting the
each
system
iteration.
for each iteration. So, but if you uncheck this, let's see what happens.
So sorry, yeah. So in this
That
context
means you
now,
want the system to create unique users hitting this application during this period.
okay, no problem.
So it will
So
be generating unique IPs, unique random IPs.
if you uncheck it now, right?
Yes,
Okay. So in this context now, what does iteration mean?
this content. That's the repetition
The
and
repetition.
the for each iteration. Okay, I think I get what you are saying. Yeah. So, well, I didn't want to go through all these other options here, but you can always play around it. So there are many things here. What happens when there's an error? Do you want to stop? Do you want us to, and all that? Okay, so let me just move further. Remember, we're still trying to set up, you know, um, the test plan. So let's see what else we can do. We can add a sampler to the thread group. Like I said, a sampler is what we use to send requests and get a response. So there are a host of samplers here. One of them is the HTTP request, which is the most commonly used. But you can see that there are many others. Uh, okay, so let me just stick to this HTTP request. Um, Abigail, do you mind sharing that IP address? So,
I've shared.
Yes.
can you share this? So now we'll see HTTP request on. Just give it a name that you can relate with. Just give it. Should have called this one. Go test then call. Okay, you shared it. Let me check for it. So the options you have here now is if that server has a protocol, obviously by default it's HTTP. But if it's HTTPS, mm, you might need more that you have to specify. Let me just go to where you added the chats. See. Okay, I've seen it. So I'm going to capture the IP address. So in some cases, it will be a website address for here. And then I also capture the ports. So we know that this port here is 8088. I'll capture the port as well. So that's basically it.
I'm sorry, Abigail, do you understand how he fetched the port?
Abigail, you have to bring your mic closer to your mouth so that we
Okay.
can hear what you're
Okay.
saying.
Sorry, I said yes, I do. Yes. Thank you, Kenya.
Okay.
Godi.
Okay, so what we have just done now is just to set up this request. But like I said, we thread group, samplers, then we have listeners. So we have to add a listener now so that we'll hear what is happening when this request is sent. So I have to now add a listener. So this listener can be, let's see the list of listeners here. So the common one here is view result tree. And so let's check this out. We'll take it one at a time to see how it works. So let me run this and see the results.
Okay,
So,
sorry, got
yeah,
the listener you added. You didn't impute any parameter, nothing. You just selected view result tree, that's all.
yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just a listener.
Okay.
It's going
Okay.
to be listening to what is going on
Okay.
in this
Okay.
request. I'll be showing you the result.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
So see that there are two options here. Start, no pause. So I don't know. Some people use this, but I just stick to the basics. See how quickly it's. If you notice here on the top right corner, there's a timer here, and it's showing you how many requests it's sending as in how many users. I mean,
Godi, please, what did you
and
click? Is
how
it
they are
start or
eating
starts?
the application.
Which of the start did you click on?
Abigail, you're saying something.
Yes, I said which of the starts? You said there are two
It's
starts,
just
starts
start.
and start. Okay, just the start.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the
And you
start.
see this drop down. Or you okay, okay.
No drop down, just normal start. And things will start. Look at it. What is starting is to send or hit the application with the number of users you specified in the thread group. So now you have 1,000 users hitting that application in 10 seconds, and and all of them successfully got through. There was no issue. Oh, except one. I love it when I see an error. Wow. So this shows that if 1,000 users hit that application in 10 seconds, one of them will not be able to get through. That's
Has
interesting.
it run down?
Guys, I just run a test now, and all of my requests failed.
Gee, oh yeah, let
Is
me
What's
it on
go
the
going?
same
right
this
now.
same?
Eh?
Is it on the same server?
Yes, now.
That means that server has a capacity. That's what it means. So we have just discovered
But
that.
why would everything fail for me now? See my list now.
Let's see. Once you click on it, we'll see details.
Okay, please, let's see the details because I don't know what's happening.
What's the
See the response.
response message expected closing.
Oh wait. I think I did a mistake somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's only the IP address you need. You don't need the
Remove
other
the
things.
IP. Remove this one. See,
Oh, I'll remove.
It's like
Oh, okay.
just
Just the
let me show
server
you
name or
my
IP.
own.
remove this 888.
I'll remove the port as well.
Yes, remove the port
Yes,
as
it's
well.
only the IP address.
Full URL.
Yes.
Just
One of
No.
these other employee onboarding.
you won't put it.
Which one? It's
Huh?
only
It's
IP
just the IP
address
address.
and the port
I
number.
won't put the full URL.
Not at all.
Okay.
I love this. I love this. So
You have not installed JMeter. You're asking us where's your JMeter. Abigail, please.
let me just go through this process then. Okay, you want to try it now?
Let's try it now.
So please, all of this has failed now. I've adjusted this guy. If I do another
Yes.
run,
So now
what's going
let's
to
clear
happen?
it. Let's clear it. Right click on that tree and then clear.
If I clear, what if I still want to have this record? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
But you know why it
Or is
failed now.
I know I failed.
So
What if I add
there's no
another
need.
listener?
So now there's a thing about listener that I need to mention here. The fewer the listeners, the better. Because listeners has a way of there's a thing about listener. It's not so okay to have too many listeners on the UI.
Okay.
More sophisticated performance testing, you will not need UI. You go to command line because the listeners will be generating so many. I don't know how to explain on the UI, and it will be hanging, overboarding the UI. So the fewer the listeners, the better.
Okay.
So okay, so I've been able to now.
Okay, so this one, everything passed for me this time.
But
Please
mine
go ahead,
one
Cody.
failed, and
Don't
I
let me
like it.
hijack you.
No, it's good.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
Okay, so now I mentioned something about assertions, which is what I want to quickly delve
Oh,
into.
sorry,
So we have
God, you
done
said
thread
you
group.
said you like how one of those requests failed. Let's
Yeah.
deep dive into it, please. Whatever you like about it, we want to like it too. So let's look at that failure. That's what testers should like now. Actually, you should like when things
Yeah, so it's now up to whoever. It's true, Sha, that based on the results here, then we make it's just the reports. At the end of the day, we're not the one to fix it.
everyone should understand it.
Yeah.
It makes us appreciate technology more, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
this is
get it.
obviously a this response we are getting here. So you let me see. Obviously, something went wrong, right? I don't know if you want to start drilling the connection issues, HTTP response, and all that.
I want us to drill down to it too. Let's understand it. Let's show someone in who do we show? Network or no
Don't
no
worry,
no.
you will see it on the report.
Eh?
This is just a result. You will see a report that has details of what happened.
Of the rest. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
which is what is usually
So
submitted.
save this after this call. I want us to show.
Okay.
You can screenshot.
Ah, ah. This device, I was not expecting this, but it's fine.
Yeah, proceed.
Okay. So we might have to even run this again, but let me just add the assertion. Okay, let me quickly also mention that uh, this is view result tree, right? Helps you to see the details. Response 200. I wanted to know what the response was here. Response code, not sure response. Okay, it's fine. So, but there are other listeners that work like this view result tree, and that's this view result in table. This works like that also. Maybe I should just finish up with listeners before I go to assertions. Yeah, because there are a couple of listeners I would like us to quickly explore. So let me show you what this result table do. It's the same thing. It's just that it shows you in a table, and you are seeing this. So we're going to run this again. Now we'll see how each of these listeners work. This other listener I would like us to check, which is the assertion result. So we'll soon move to assertions. But when we do assertions, the result of the assertion will be stored in an assertion result listener. So why we need to add an assertion result listener. If not, it will not be able to determine if it failed or passed in terms of test cases and expected results. Then the last listener I'd like us to consider is this aggregate report. So this is where actual report is the holistic view of what's happening is stored, and it's from this aggregate report that you generate that standard report that is sent to, I don't know, business or whoever needs to analyze what's happening on the server. So I just wanted us to quickly touch everything.
For this aggregate reports, what you're saying is that for every kind of listener that you have added,
Yeah.
aggregate reports will capture all of those
No,
data in
every type of sampler, because all these reports are looking at what's happening here. They
yes.
are listening to this and analyzing what is
Okay.
happening there. It's just that they are doing it in different ways. And but this assertion result is not listening to this sampler. It's listening to assertion, but I've not added an assertion yet.
Okay. Okay.
So there are other listeners, and it specifies what they listen to. Like this JSR that I used recently, it listens to your scripts, because you can also write a script on JMeter. So this one will listen to the script, but I don't want to go there. It's advanced. Okay, so let me now do the last part, which is assertions. After the assertions, then we will now generate a HTML report. So let me add an assertion. Like I said, an assertion is how you specify a condition that needs to be met, or that checks whether that verifies if the test meets with the expected results. So that's an assertion. So to add an assertion, you click on the thread group, right click on thread group, go to add, you see assertion here. So see that there's a long list, but just is the assertion response assertion that we are focusing on.
Sorry.
Yeah,
To add the assertion, are you adding it on the thread group or on the what's it called now?
test plan.
Eh,
Everything is on the thread group. Everything is linked to the thread group.
Okay. So sorry. Can you break
Yeah.
down the three again? We have the thread group, which is a new staff onboarding. Then we have this new onboarding load test. This so that's the
I should have called this first one the load test. Why this one the new on stuff? Because this is actually the load. Why this is the new this thing?
no. I just want to get the
Yeah,
naming.
it's just
I just want to
naming.
get the naming convention and just break down the three. So this first item here is what that new staff onboarding that has the settings
Yeah,
too.
this is the real load.
That's
That
the
where you set
thread.
parameters. Yes, for your test.
Okay, then the next one is what?
Next one is this one is just a sampler.
Sampler. Okay.
HTTP request.
Okay.
Speak.
So I'm asking because if you not want to add an assertion, you can either do it from the thread or the sampler, right? Because I see that if you right click on
Okay.
any of the two, it still gives you the option to add an assertion.
Yes, that works. Well, there is a nested. You can have nested um assertion. Sorry, yeah. This thing can be nested. Well, it's still supposed to be basic. I don't want to quickly
Okay,
go to
okay.
that advanced level. Uh, okay. And, okay. Okay, so let me just continue. Okay. So I wanted to add an assertion to this thread group. So I will add a response assertion. So this is very basic, right? What we're trying to do now, we want to just check, focus on, hey, there's something I wanted to do here. Now, this aggregate reports is a option here to add a file type, sorry, a file name. Because when you run this thing, the data that you get here should be stored in a file, which is what you use in generating a report. So, and this file should be a CSV file. Let me call it test results. Please don't forget to add the .csv extension. So CSV, you know what CSV files are, right? Comma separated values. So, so once you do that, you're fine. So now this response, we want to do the most basic assertion to check that it returns 200, which is okay. So I'm going to click on response code 200. So I want to check that the response, sorry, use your mic, please.
What about response message or no need?
There are many options. It's up to you which one you want to do.
Oh, okay,
So
okay, okay.
me, I'm just trying to you can use anyone. So, but the most common response you get is 200,
Response
which is
code,
response code. Yeah,
yes.
response code. So, we want to check if that response code is equals 200. So, I will now click. I'll select equals here and then click on the add button here and say 200, and I'll type 200 here. So that's basically it. So for every of the every user that tries to access the application, this will check if the user got a response code of 200 or not. So if he gets a response code of 200, it will pass. If it did not get a response code of 200, it will fail. So this is the way we track what really failed and what passed. If you didn't do this, you won't get, you have not done any test. That's just the truth. Okay, so that's it for assertions. So there are other things like, but I'm not going to go further. There are other things like timer. That's when you want to do, when there are some things that requires delay. For instance, now, OTP never drop, but you want it to wait until it drops. Use a timer to delay the requests until OTP drops. But I don't want to delve into that. So this is basically what is needed now. I'm going to run this test again and I'll generate a report so that you can see how the report looks like. I don't know if everything is clear so far or is there anything. I hope I was, before I move.
No, it's fine.
But
It's
Please
fine.
go ahead. You're on point.
okay, okay. So let me clear these results here since I'm doing it again. If it fails, I would like if it fails again like it did the last time. So our report can look fine with red. Yeah. So let's
Hey.
see what's going on here. So you see that this one is what's happening here is similar to what's happening here, except that here I can see a more detailed. No, this does not even show me details.
Okay, thank you.
This one, I can drill down to what is happening in each of the users' requests. But here I can't really drill down to anything, but I can see what's happening. So it's just different views,
View, yeah, you can see
different
the whole
views.
1,000
Yes,
requests, the start time,
yeah.
you know.
Um, yeah. But- And then if you notice on this assertion result too, some things are happening here. It's checking if, let's say, some the reason This everything is looking good. Let's say something failed. You would have seen it here. Yeah, nothing failed. Okay, let me just move on to generating a report.
So, sorry, got there.
Yes.
I saw that in my
Yeah.
view results in table, the count of my request is 2000. Could it be because I did not clear the first one I did?
Yeah.
It's most likely.
Okay, I'm coming.
So, well, except if your user is 2000, but if your user is 1000, yeah, it should have 1000 there. I mean, we have to clear the old ones.
Okay, so see, I'm trying to run my test again,
Okay.
and I'm getting a warning that
Oh,
new staff
yeah.
test result already exists.
Yeah, so it
So
starts.
does it mean that once the result has been generated, if I want to run that test again, I have to maybe decide to overwrite the existing file or
Or
something?
maybe you come back to
Or
that place where
append.
you have one, you do it twice.
Sorry, I don't get.
Where you
Yes.
have once, how many times you
No,
run?
no, no. What's happening here now is that he has run the test before. So, and you want to run it again. So, the options you have there is whether you want to add this new one to the existing one or you want to overwrite the
Override the
existing
existing
one.
file. So please go ahead, Godi. I understand the feedback.
Okay, so now what I want to do is to generate a report that is understandable to business because nobody understand what's going on here. So what's this? What's all this? Okay, but
Sorry,
let's
can you click on your own aggregate report?
aggregate report. Yeah.
No, aggregate
Oh,
report.
sorry.
The second one.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead and generate an HTML report. So I want to generate. I'll click on tools and then go to generate HTML report. Why I'm doing this is because I would I can share a link to someone to view the results, right? So I'll just click on generate HTML report. So now you see, remember that CSV file that I saved for my aggregate report. So this is where you now need that CSV file. So what I need to do is now to click on browse and select the CSV file. And then there's every project has a user.property file. I have to choose it. You can see it here. See user.property file. I hope all is well. I'm getting a call on that. It's not okay. Then this is where the actual results or report will be displayed. So at every given point in time, you make sure that this place is empty. So I like to create a separate folder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I always like to create a separate folder for these. So this folder has to always be empty. If not, it will tell you that you have something in it. Okay, so once I fill up these things, I now click on generate report, and it will use this data and then see generating report created. So that's basically what needs to be done. Now I have to go to that part where the report was generated, and I will see my reports there. Oh God help mercy. Okay, so I'm sure you know how to locate your Apache JMeter. So everything is in the bin part, bin folder. Can you see my reports here? New employee reports. So you can see this was automatically generated, but what you need is the index file. So this is what is so there was a failure. Eh. Or did I not clear the last one? Oh, 0 points. So there is a silent failure that we did not see.
Where is it?
0.1%. 0.1%. I'm not sure why, what caused it, but it's good. That looks like a good thing. So this is basically,
I know, sorry.
yeah,
This 0.1 failure. Can we go and track it from the request on
yeah, we'll
JMeter?
see it here. We'll see it here.
Oh, okay.
So we'll come here, we'll scroll down, you see error. See non-HTTP response. Number of error 1. So non-HTTP error. So with this, huh? So with this, you can investigate what really happened. So, but if you want to drill down, you see, so they're telling you, it is well. To make okay, so that's basically, so there are other options here to see the charts. You know, business like leaking, they like seeing charts. So all these things were created by JMeter for us for the business. I don't know if they can. So part of what we do is to interpret these things, but it's not that deep. Request having response less than. I think we have spent an hour already. Yeah, so I don't know if there's any questions or comments or observations. I think we can end it on this note. So let's just call this an introduction to JMeter because there are a lot more. I don't know if there's any
All right.
comments.
Thank you, Gode. This one really looks good because it's my first time going through it. Though I know about JMeter, but I've not really gone through it this way you dealt with it. Anyways,
Guys, I have.
thank you. What?
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. I'll do this on my own and see if I can come up with this too. Because I'm trying to locate my once again, thank you. And this knowledge
Yeah.
sharing is really worth it. Thanks.
Um, Thank you, so there's one thing I noticed in JMeter. Look at that report now. The report is okay. Am I still sharing?
Yes.
The reports, you see that I can't share this report. It is local to my system here. I can't share this report. So and that's because we're using a free version of JMeter. I believe so. Well, I believe if I'm sure the paid version will not give this is a limitation. I am the only one. If I share this link now, you won't be able to access it because it is local to my machine here. But what I used to do is that I used to publish my reports on my Git pages. So that's like extra information if you care to know. Git provides you with a page section where with a feature where you can publish pages and share the link. So I don't know if you want to see
Okay.
that, but I don't want to bore you with that detail.
No, we need that part as well, but maybe at a later time, or I'll meet you personally because I need to also set up a Git, profile. And so thank you very much, Gode. This was awesome. But no, me, I'm speaking for myself. Oh.
How will you be speaking for
Abigail.
yourself when we are working in
I'm ending
in
the
group?
I'm ending
So
No,
maybe
okay,
in
the
Git
recording.
thing. No,
Can
no,
we
no,
not
end the
the
sorry.
Git
The
recording?
Git
thing.
thing is outside of
It's not.
Providence Bank. Now that's why I'm saying that I'm going to meet you because I'm interested. So speak for yourself.
Can we stop recording? Can we stop the recording?
Won't stop.
The recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, so God